Alara's heart raced as she left the starry clearing and continued down the path revealed by the compass. The journey through the trials had been intense, each challenge pushing her further into understanding herself and the garden. The path she followed now was quieter, the shadows of the dark forest giving way to a softer, more serene landscape. The trees were no longer twisted and gnarled, but stood tall and majestic, their leaves whispering secrets in the breeze. As she walked, Alara noticed a shift in the atmosphere. The air was cooler, filled with the gentle scent of pine and earth. The ground beneath her feet was covered with a soft layer of moss, and the light filtered through the trees in a calming, dappled pattern. It was a welcome change from the dark maze she had just navigated. After a while, she arrived at a small, tranquil lake. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the sky above like a mirror. At the edge of the lake was a small, wooden dock leading out to a rowboat tied to a post. The boat looked old but sturdy, its paint chipped and faded. Curious, Alara approached the boat and untied it. She carefully climbed in and began to row across the lake, feeling a sense of calm as she moved. The gentle ripples in the water were soothing, and the reflections on the surface seemed to dance with the light. As she reached the middle of the lake, the boat began to slow and drift. Alara glanced around and noticed a small, misty island in the center of the lake. The island was shrouded in a soft, ethereal fog, and she felt a strong pull towards it. She rowed towards the island, her curiosity growing with each stroke. When she finally reached the shore, she stepped out of the boat and onto the island. The ground was covered with a thick carpet of moss, and the air was filled with the sound of rustling leaves and distant, haunting melodies. In the center of the island was a large, ancient tree, its branches spreading wide and its roots twisting deep into the ground. The tree seemed to pulse with a gentle, rhythmic energy, and Alara felt drawn to it. As she approached the tree, she noticed that it had several small doors carved into its trunk, each one with a different symbol. Alara selected the door with a symbol resembling an eye. She opened it and found a small, hidden chamber inside the tree. The chamber was filled with old, dusty books and scrolls. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with an ornate, golden box. Alara carefully opened the box and found a collection of photographs and letters. She recognized some of the faces in the photographs. They were her ancestors, people she had heard stories about but had never met. The letters were written in elegant, flowing script, detailing the experiences and thoughts of her family members. She began to read the letters, discovering stories of love, loss, and triumph. Each letter offered a glimpse into the lives of her ancestors and their connection to the garden. The more she read, the more she felt a deep sense of connection to her family's past. One letter in particular caught her attention. It was written by a great-grandmother she had never known. The letter spoke of a hidden part of the garden, a place where the past and present intersected. The letter mentioned a special place where one could confront their deepest memories and find clarity. Alara's heart quickened. She knew that this special place was the next step in her journey. She took the letter and left the chamber, making her way back to the boat. As she rowed across the lake, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. The garden had been guiding her, revealing pieces of her family's history and her own past. When she reached the far shore, she noticed a narrow, winding path leading up a steep hill. The path was lined with old, stone markers, each inscribed with symbols and runes. Alara followed the path, her determination growing with each step. At the top of the hill was a small, stone archway covered in ivy. Beyond the archway was a secluded garden, unlike any she had seen before. The garden was filled with strange, glowing plants and flowers that seemed to pulse with a soft light. In the center of the garden was a large, crystal-clear pool. Alara approached the pool and looked into the water. The surface was calm, but as she gazed into it, the water began to shimmer and change. Images from her past appeared on the surface, moments of happiness, sadness, and everything in between. She saw scenes from her childhood, her family's struggles, and the moments that had shaped her into who she was. The pool was showing her the essence of her memories, both the joyful and the painful. She felt a mix of emotions as she watched the scenes unfold. It was as if the garden was offering her a chance to fully understand and come to terms with her past. Alara reached into the water, and as she did, the images began to merge and shift. She saw patterns and connections that she hadn't noticed before. The memories were telling a story of growth, resilience, and transformation. As she continued to explore the pool's reflections, she noticed a particular image that stood out: her grandmother, standing in the garden she had known so well. The scene was peaceful, and her grandmother's presence was comforting. The image seemed to hold a message, a reminder of the love and wisdom that had been passed down through generations. Alara realized that understanding her past was not just about remembering events, but about recognizing the threads of her family's legacy that wove through her own life. The garden had helped her see that her experiences were part of a larger narrative, one that connected her to her ancestors and to the essence of the garden itself. Feeling a sense of clarity and acceptance, Alara left the garden and began her descent down the hill. The path was illuminated by the soft light of the glowing plants, guiding her back to the lake and the boat. She knew that she had uncovered important truths about her past, and she was ready to continue her journey. As she rowed back across the lake, she reflected on what she had learned. The garden had shown her the importance of understanding and embracing her memories. It had helped her see the connections between her past and present, and it had given her the strength to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. When she reached the far shore, Alara felt a deep sense of gratitude for the garden and the lessons it had imparted. She knew that her journey was far from over, but she was now more equipped to face the challenges and discoveries that lay ahead. With a final look at the serene lake and the glowing garden, Alara stepped off the boat and began to make her way back to the heart of the garden. She was ready to uncover the remaining secrets and continue her quest to understand the garden of lost memories.